What's going on, guys? You're watching Sneaker News on YouTube, and today we're going to take a closer look at the last Off-White Nike shoe of 2018, the Air Force One. So, like we said, this is the last Off-White Nike shoe of 2018, but not to worry, in January they're dropping the Air Max 90, but again, this is the final one of the year, so if you've been taking L's all year, you have another opportunity to take 2 more L's, because copping Off-White is just not easy. So in this video, we're going to take a closer look at this black colorway as well as the Volt colorway. This is the extension of the first 10 that dropped in 2017. And so yeah, we'll take a closer look. We'll show off all the little details in case you're not too familiar with this shoe. We'll talk about resale prices a little bit and all that good stuff. So let's start with this black pair. So as you guys know, the 10 was Virgil Abloh's collaboration with Nike. He took 10 icons, totally reworked them, added translucent materials. He kind of messed around with the swoosh, added all these flaps and sort of, chopped and screwed things a little bit. So in 2018, they pretty much doubled the output. Every shoe that came out in 2017, they released 2 more versions of it, with the exception of a few. So yeah, there's pretty much double the Off-White Nike in 2018, yet it was still really hard to buy a pair. And unfortunately, the only way to really buy a pair for retail is through entering raffles and entering giveaways and all that. And unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of the footwear game right now. If anything, now's the time to really buy what you like. Buy the discount shoes, buy those clearance shoes, buy the stuff that really makes you happy. Stop chasing the hype. But if you really do like this shoe, let's take a look. So again, this is a black colorway. This is an extension of the first Ghosting series. So they use a lot of translucent materials here at the toe box. There's just sort of diamond edge sort of finish to this nylon material. There's like a thin wire mesh type of material here at the toe box. And those 2 materials pretty much make up most of the upper of the entire shoe. And of course, there's exterior taping that hides the seams and the stitching. And there's suede sort of pieces here at the lace collar, as well as the heel. This whole quote unquote deconstructed look, this mishmash of several different materials, was a pretty big driver of hype. People kind of like this look. Of course, the React Element 87 and that technical look is sort of tied to the way the Off-White shoes are. Of course, Off-White had nothing to do with the React Element 87, but we digress. Other details with this shoe is the swoosh material, as well as kind of like this plasticky nylon material. It's not quite like a solid leather piece. The same goes for the medial side, and it's laid just above the Helvetica print. Signature orange flap here at the tail end of the swoosh. The Nike Sportswear logo turned to the side, and one of our favorite details about the Off-White Air Force One is the exposed interior sponge layer here on the ankle collar, as well as the tongue. And the tongue itself is also padded, has that same diamond finish mesh. Here in the heel, you have the Nike swoosh with the logo in quotes. It's pressed into the suede. You have all these sort of factory sort of markings that are printed on the heel. Look on the outsole, it's just your classic rubber outsole on an Air Force One. And finally, the most important detail to any Off-White Nike shoe is the technology, in air quotes. No pun intended. So you can see much of the same in the Volt pair. Of course, this is probably one of the louder Off-White Nike shoes to drop in 2018. It's not a colorway that a lot of people can pull off. It's interesting to see how people will react to these, because the Off-White Zoom Fly, the first model, was considered one of the better half of the 10, but the pink version that just dropped seemed to be a quote-unquote flop. I mean, it still has some sort of resale value. People are still chasing after it hard, but it goes without saying that it is probably the least coveted of the entire Off-White Nike catalog. But again, Volt is so much more of a wearable color in our opinion. It's such a signature Nike color. And Nike Energy Team, they really wanted to infuse some vibrance in contrast with the darker, more kind of stoic sort of colors that Virgil seems to like. For the Volt pair though, you see a lot of the same materials. You see the same diamond etched nylon upper, the same mesh, same type of material on the swoosh. You could definitely see that stitching a little bit more prominently. You got that same suede heel flap with the markings, the swoosh above the Helvetica print. The suede on the lace collar is also a different tone from the Volt too. It's almost more of a mossy, mustardy, sort of stronger, yellower tone. And of course, just as we mentioned with the black pair, we're a big fan of this exposed mesh. That's been around like the vintage style blazers for a while. So again, that's not like an Off-White thing, but it's what they're known for. So here you go, the same Air, and you got your solid rubber outsole. So again, by now you guys are probably well versed in Off-White Nike footwear. If you are interested in copying, these do drop on December the 19th. It requires a lot of luck, or if you got a good connection with a retailer. The only way to build good relationships with retailers is one thing: spend money there. You know, if you want to get an in, if you want to plug or whatever they like to call it, you know, retailers are running businesses, you know, so spend some money there and, you know, maybe they'll hold you a pair. You know, that's how it works. You know, that's how we used to cop kicks back in the day. You know, you just gotta, you know, show customer loyalty, you know. So again, another quick thing that we like to point out, both pairs do come with the light blue hang tag just to finish things off for the whole set. And like we said, this is the last Off-White Nike release of 2018. There's one more left coming in January, and that's the form of the Air Max 90, 2 colorways dropping. But this, again, December 19th. Check the links below if you're trying to buy a pair. Let us know if this is your favorite Off-White Nike shoe of 2018. For us, it's definitely in the upper half. This Black Air Force One is actually really, really clean, but we're not gonna break our backs trying to cop a pair. And we'll catch you next time.